Sorry about that. Hello, everyone. So for those who are sitting in the back, I know you've made yourselves comfortable, and I'm glad about that, but I'm going to request that you actually come forward so that there's more of a community gathered when the family comes up to speak. So if you're sitting in the sort of half rows, please come forward and join in this main part. These blue chairs are very, very comfortable, I have to tell you. Andrea. Again, just welcoming those who are coming in to step forward and come sit close to the front. No, go ahead. Okay, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, just as a reminder, if you have a cell phone, if you would turn it off or on silent, please. Immediately following the service, there will be a memorial gathering at the Isaac Agri Downtown Synagogue, including lunch, schmoozing, slideshow, music, and stories about Marty. Please bring your stories to share. The gathering will conclude at 5 p.m. It is suggested that those who wish to further honor the memory of Martin Merker Herman may do so by making a contribution to the Isaac Agri Downtown Synagogue or SOAR, Society of Active Retirees. All this information can be found on our website, iraKaufman.com.
Good afternoon. Today, we gather to remember Marty and join our hearts together to give comfort and strength to his family. Mourning is a time filled with many emotions and memories, both bitter and sweet. We begin our service with a recitation of psalms and prayers linking Marty's life with the millennia-old tradition of the people Israel and the eternity of God. We begin with Psalm 15. Adonai, who may abide in your house, who may dwell in your holy mountain, those who are upright, who do justly, who speak the truth within their hearts, who do not slander others or wrong them or bring shame upon them, who scorn the lawless but honor those who revere God, who give their word and come what may, do not retract, who do not exploit others, who do not take bribes. Those who live in this way shall never be shaken. Psalm 23, I'll read in the English first and then will be sung. Adonai is my shepherd, I shall not want. God makes me lie down in green pastures and restores my soul. You lead me in right paths for the sake of your name. Even when I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You have set a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You have anointed my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of God forever.
Adonai roi lo echsad bino tesheyar bitzei alamei menuchot en nafshi yeshovev yancheni v'maglei tzedek yancheni v'maglei tzedek leman shemo gam ki elech begei atzalmavet lo yara ki ata imadi shiftecha umin shantecha emma. שולחן נגד צהריים, תשענתה ושמן ראשי כוסי הוויה. וכתוב וחסד ירדפוני כל ימי חיי, ושבתי בבית אדוני לאורך ימים. אדוני רואי לא אחסד, אדוני רואי לא אחסד.
You who heal the brokenhearted and bind up their wounds, grant comfort and consolation to these mourners as they face their grief. Fill their lives with the acts of loving kindness and truth, which serve as the genuine memorial to our dear Marty. The deep bond of love will remain unbroken. And to show that deep bond, we have three speakers this morning: Sarah, Rebecca, and Ellen, and I would invite Sarah to come forward first.
For those we remember with love, 7 Blessings of Memory and Hope by Rabbi Deborah Smith. May you know that you are always remembered for the good you have done. May you know that you are missed beyond measure. May you know that we see your face, hear your voice, feel your touch. May you know that we bring what you have taught us into our lives. May you know that you can continue to travel our journey with us. May you know that by your presence in our lives, you have changed us. May you know that we honor your name and your memory today and always.
I am Marty's younger daughter, Rebecca. That's my eldest, Sarah, that you just heard from. You may know Marty as longtime downtown synagogue champion, colleague, teacher, opera lover, mentor, and/or friend, but to me, he's dad. Unlike Marty and my sister Ellen, I'm not an academic and not accustomed to speaking in front of crowds. And to suffice it to say, Marty is a tough act to follow. I did not inherit his storytelling chops nor his amazing memory, but what I hope I carry is the importance of connection, kindness, generosity, and responsibility. And seeing my parents stick by Detroit modeled not giving up on the underdog. My childhood was filled with listening to and playing music, so I tribute to my parents a love of art and music and the value of lifelong learning. In the last years, my dad could neither hear nor see very well, and his gait was unsteady, but his brain was fully functional. He would have been 96 this coming Wednesday. And he managed his life with very little assistance. When he would tell me about some crisis, I was always relieved to hear that it involved either the building HVAC system or a computer issue, and not his health and well-being. The primary help he did receive was given with tremendous love and generosity by Andrea Cannon, to whom we are eternally grateful. Since my mom died in October 2020, my dad showed tremendous resilience, adaptation, and flexibility. This was clearly on display in the time Ellen and I spent with our dad after he broke his hip in April. One or both of us were with him until his death, except for a short time after his move to assisted living in early June. He frequently expressed his love and appreciation for us, along with feelings of guilt that he had taken us from our own lives on the West Coast. He trusted us and did not falter in accepting our help with the many things he could no longer do himself. He remained appreciative to all, thanking everyone for the trouble he felt he caused. It would have been understandable if he was angry and bitter about what he faced at the end of his life, but he was not a kvetch, and that was not his way. Many of the caregivers we met commented on how kind and well-mannered he was. I hope I have such grace when confronted with great hardship. These challenges were mitigated by the love of so many of you gathered today at his beloved downtown synagogue or via the wonders of live stream. We facilitated so many visits, calls, and Zooms in the last months, and you are all a testament to the love and connection he fostered and nourished throughout his life, whether he met you recently or decades ago. We thank you all for the many mishaberachs, well wishes, and remaining connected. It meant so much to him. It continues to mean so much to us. Zichrona lebracha, his memory is a blessing to me, as I know it is to all of you. Thank you.
It's wonderful to see all of you here. Marty would want me to tell you that he loves each of you and is proud of the work you are doing individually and collectively to make the lives of your families and communities better and to repair the world. He was so very proud of this synagogue and so proud of the many other institutions and organizations that gave his life a great deal of purpose and meaning. My own life, literally, has been a long conversation with my father, and he was a talker, as you know. One version of that conversation is over, but I hear his voice now, and I will hear it always. I thought I might share a few thoughts today, not about Marty's experiences. I included some of those in the obituary that many of you have seen, but about what it has meant to me to be Marty's daughter. Even as a very young child, and I, like Rebecca, I don't have his memory, but I remember, if I remember anything from being a very young child, I remember adoring my father, wanting to make him happy, and hoping to be like him. Marty was a very easy person to love. I always knew how completely he loved me, and what greater, more permanent gift is there for any child. I'm different than Marty, of course, and have lived a different sort of life in important ways, but I thought I would mention 4 areas, very much like my sister, where I believe my own experience has carried on the values that he held so dear. Music is first, because it was first for Marty. He gave me a lifelong love for making music, listening to music, and appreciating music in its diverse forms. Music made Marty's life worth living, and it has contributed a huge amount of beauty and pleasure to my life as well. 2, education. My dad's love of books and his wide-ranging curiosity to understand the world are things that I swallowed whole. I truly believe that we grow as we ask questions and seek answers to those questions. Learning in formal educational settings and elsewhere throughout our lives made my dad's life better, and it has done the same for me. I got from him my hope that education can also enhance the life of every person and every community. 3, commitment. Marty was very well known for his loyalty and his dedication to individuals and institutions during good times, but also during bad times. His commitment was serious, long-lasting, and rooted in appreciation that interdependence is inevitable and reciprocity is desirable. These are qualities that I also cherish and have tried to realize in my own way. And 4th, gratitude. My dad expressed thanks easily and often for blessings large and small. Being blessed, he felt, brought with it not just a responsibility, but a duty to give to others. And he did that. I hope I can carry on that legacy of generosity and care, and I have tried to demonstrate its enduring importance to my own children, my friends, and everyone I know. I want to express particular gratitude right now to my sister Rebecca and my spouse Lynn. As Marty would say, even though he was a man of maybe too many words, he would say there are no words adequate to express my thanks for their emotional and practical support, and to Andrea Cannon, who was my dad's guardian angel for years, and who is a Herman now and forever, and the same for Les and Liz. And maybe that makes me a Cannon too. Finally, I want to share that my father, as positive and joyful as he was, and I suspect that that was the Marty that many of you knew, also experienced sustained pain and frustration in his life. He was capable of causing pain and frustration, as all of us are, especially to those he loved most and who loved him most. He rarely shared his anguish openly or publicly, probably out of concern for what others would think, probably also because his generation was instructed that doing so was a mark of weakness and a cause for shame. But the ability to love all the more with full knowledge that we are all flawed and broken is perhaps the final, most fundamental lesson that I learned from my father. This morning, I was looking through a book of notes he kept during the past couple of years, and I found the following little thought, which sums this up. This is a quote: "The enigmatic nature of life's experience and the need to develop a tolerance for ambiguity." My father is at the very, very core of who I am as a person. He is with me today. He will always be with me. I am so very fortunate to have had him as a father, and I will feel that way for as long as I live.
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
But soon. Soon. Joe. Go sit next to Andrea. This is going to take a while. He was 95 years old. Thank you, Sarah, Rebecca, and Ellen, for your beautiful words. Marty smiled often, not because his life was always easy, but because he knew how to find joy, and because he had a tenacity that was remarkable. Through his nearly 70 years of marriage, his commitment to the teaching of the humanities, his devotion to his children, and in his decades of dedication to the downtown synagogue, with, as Marty would say, adaptation, and forbearance, Marty did not give up. Although some of us knew him for 50 years or more, many of us knew him primarily in his 70s, 80s, and 90s. But as you will see in the wonderful photos that his daughters collected, and in Ellen's beautifully written obituary, which I highly recommend that you read, it all started when Marty was young. On September 3rd, 1929, in Brooklyn, New York, Martin Herman was born to Bertha and Hyman Herman. His parents adored their only child and nourished in him a love of Jewish community and a love of culture. At 17 years old, he went to serve as a camp tennis instructor, and that is when he met and fell in love with Judith Fine. She shared his love of music and Judaism, and they were married on January 27th, 1951, intentionally choosing their wedding date to coincide with Mozart's birthday. They had 2 children, Ellen and Rebecca. Ellen was born in 1957 and Rebecca in 1959. Throughout her life, Judy suffered terribly from depression. She loved her young children, and she, like Marty, was a Francophile, and they were able to travel to France in both 1960 to 61 and 1971 to 72. She worked periodically as a Hebrew and music teacher and worked consistently on behalf of civic, artistic, and Jewish community organizations, including Focus Hope, the Detroit Institute of Arts, the National Cancer Society, and Hadassah. But her illness prevented her from doing many things. Being a caretaker for someone with a chronic illness is no easy task. It is possible that in Marty's deference to Judy's preferences, or in his commitment to his other pursuits, he didn't advocate forcefully enough for her to seek different treatments, but he loved her unfailingly. It is not surprising that Marty died in the month of Elul. Elul is spelled Aleph, Lamed, Vav, Lamed, the first letters of Ani L'Dodi V'Dodi Li. I am my beloved's, and my beloved is mine. Marty was gentle and unfailingly true to his beloved, caring for her even as she declined at the end of her life. Judy died in 2020, just short of their 70th wedding anniversary. Marty showed the same tenacity in his academic pursuits. When being drafted into the Korean War interrupted his graduate studies at Yale, Marty went on to complete his PhD at the University of Michigan. After teaching at Colorado College from 1955 to 1959, he was appointed at Wayne State University's Monteith College in 1962, causing his move to Detroit, the city that was his hometown for 6 decades. Marty was not just an academic. He was a teacher. His eyes would light up when he saw someone learning something new. He would come to Torah study every single week and share his insights and perspectives. I will never forget when we were discussing the ratios in the dimensions of the Mishkan, the tabernacle, and Marty related them to ratios in music. He saw the world through his own set of unique eyes. He also taught outside the classroom. He was a man of many words, carefully chosen and very articulate words, just a lot of them. My one-sentence emails would often be returned with a several-paragraph response, all well-written, with a pun or a story or a French phrase or sometimes a French pun. Marty was delightful, but not perfect. None of us are. Perhaps our flaws are our strengths taken to the extreme. Marty was a beautiful writer and speaker, and sometimes it was a few words too many. His commitment to something would cause him to be a bit of a nudge. His wisdom could lead to fixed opinions, and he may not have expressed his love to all that he needed to. But Marty's academic prowess, commitment, wisdom, and love led him to do incredible things. Marty had colleagues with projects that remained unfinished when they died. So Marty would finish the projects on his colleagues' behalf. When Monteith College was phased out in 1975, Marty worked to find new roles at Wayne for all of his Monteith colleagues who wished to stay. He retired from Wayne in 1994. After retiring, he was one of the founders of SOAR, the Society of Active Retirees. SOAR offered classes to seniors seeking continuing education. It started in 2003, and by 2004, 700 people had enrolled. For many years, Marty taught a course on opera that showcased the productions being performed at the Detroit Opera. But when I went out for tea with him, many of the stories he told were about his two beloved daughters, Ellen and Rebecca. He spoke about their adventures in France as children and about their academic achievements as adults and how proud he was of them. I've gotten to know Ellen and Rebecca because despite their living on the West Coast, they have been in Detroit frequently to care for their parents and particularly in the last few years, to care for Marty. During his time in hospice, Ellen, Rebecca, and Lynn have been by his side. And of course, Andrea Cannon and the Cannon family have been caring for Marty in so many different ways. His Hebrew name, Moshe Ben Yechiel, is fitting because for the downtown synagogue, he was our Moshe, leading the synagogue through times that may have felt like the wilderness. It was that cold. He was our guide, our teacher, our leader, our inspiration. His perseverance shone through. Marty started coming regularly to the downtown synagogue in 1989 when he was saying Kaddish for both of his parents. He would occasionally help Rabbi Gamzee and Cantor Idelson with services, but he certainly did not expect that after Rabbi Gamzee retired in 2001, that Marty would become the synagogue's ritual director. After all, he would often share a joke with me that when people would ask why he didn't become a rabbi, he would respond, "What kind of job is that for a nice Jewish boy?" But through upheaval and transformation and growth, Marty was one of the people that made sure the synagogue survived. Until his body would no longer allow him, he did everything, from serving on the board, to making sure the Torah was rolled, to chanting Haftarah, to leading parts of the services, even if he never wished to be ordained as a rabbi. He was my teacher, my counselor, my mentor. I loved him. Many of us did. He would often express his love through a smile or a story with a witty punchline or just a gentle pat on the shoulder. And there was always a particular affection when people spoke his name. When folks would ask me how he was doing, it was never a token question. I would be asked, "How's Marty?" How's Marty? It's hard to believe that he's not here. He is leaving an incredible legacy. He lived a good life. He changed the lives of everyone in this room in many ways, even if it was simply because you were able to sit in this beautiful building. He made meeting and found joy and was quintessentially himself even to the very end. I pray that his children, Ellen and Rebecca, and his grandchildren, Sarah, Hannah, Gabriel, and Jose, carry on some of his tenacity, joie de vivre, humor, and commitment. Kol hakavod, Marty Herman. We love you and thank you. Your memory will be an abiding blessing. Please rise for El Malei Rachamim. I will read it in the English and then it will be sung. God of abundant mercy, God Most High, may the soul of our loved one who has gone into eternity find the gift of perfect peace in your embrace, together with the holy and pure, whose light shines like the radiance of heaven. Compassionate God, hold him close to you forever, so that his soul may be bound up in the bond of life eternal. May he find a home with you, and may he rest in peace. And together we say, Amen.
El Malei Rachamim, Shochein Bamromim, Hamatzei Nocha Nechonatach Ad Kanfei Hashchina, B'malot Kadoshim U'Tohorim, Kazohar Haraki Amasirim, L'nishmat Moshe ben Yechiel u'V'raina HaLevi shehalach le'olamo, ba'avur she'anachnu mitpalalim bi'ad aliyat nishmato, Lachen Baal HaRachamim, Hastirehu b'seiter kanafecha לעולמים, וצרור בצרור החיים את נשמתו, בגן עדן תהא מנוחתו, אדוני הוא נחלתו, וינוח בשלום על משכבו, ונאמר Amen.
You may be seated. In the opening of the book that Marty and Liz put together for the synagogue centenary, he quoted the biblical passage, Ma rabum ochalecha, Ma gadlu ochalecha, Ma tovu ochalecha Yaakov mishkanotecha Yisrael. How great, how beautiful are your tents, O Israel, your tents, O Jacob. And as I look out at this crowd together, he has created a beautiful dwelling for each of us. We are going to continue to celebrate his life. We're going to do so by going up to the 4th floor, having a bite to eat, and having more people tell the stories that deserve to be shared. So in a moment, I will invite you to join us up on the 4th floor for schmoozing, storytelling, and a lot of hugs. May the memory of Marty Herman be a blessing.
from